look at them.
Well, I gotta come in. I gotta take my boots off to come in. So.
Oh, that's all right. I'll show you sometime.
I'll just do it all at once.
That guy Bill, he runs his own plumbing business now. He's in Balmaray.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
We didn't look at that. Go ahead. Sorry, Luke.
Anyhow, I couldn't find a plumber anywhere. I found, it took me a long time to find an HVAC guy, and I finally found one over at Pecos.
Yeah.
Whoops. And I couldn't find a plumber. And Elmer said, well, this Bill Hoffman, he lives here in Balmaray. And I had known Jack's dad a little bit, or Bill's dad, Jack. And he said, you know, Bill's been a cowboy, but he's getting tired of doing it because it was during the drought. He said it's hard to get work and can't make any money.
Yeah.
Everything's bad. He says he's been working to be a plumber's apprentice. He's been working for 6 years.
Wow.
Oh.
And he's about to get his license.
Wow.
But he's afraid to go do anything on his own. And he's kind of a trainee for some big company out of Odessa. And so I said, well, see if you could get Bill to work for me. And he said, well, Bill's kind of afraid to work for, he came back, he talked to him, and he said, Bill's kind of afraid to work for somebody he doesn't really know. You know, he's afraid if he screws it up.
Yeah.
And I said, well, darn, Elmer, he's about our only chance because I have not even been able to find a plumber. So Elmer came back a couple days later and he says, I tell you what we'll do. He says, Bill's just not sure he's comfortable. He says, why don't we do this? He said, Bill breaks horses at night. He said, why don't you, and everybody goes over to Bill's and hangs out and drinks beer. He said, why don't you come down with me tomorrow night and we'll go over there and we'll sit there with Bill and you watch him work the horses and we'll just sit there and drink beer. And then before he left, Elmer says, now don't ever quit drinking beer.
Yeah, that's funny.
So I go down there and we're fooling around with the horses for about 2 or 3 hours. Then it gets dark about 9:30 and we go inside and it's really hot in this little tack room he's got. I mean, it's just roasting. And everybody sits down. There's about 6 guys and we sit down and we're still drinking beer, you know. And man, I tell you what, I left about 3 o'clock in the morning.
Wow.
He never stopped drinking beer.
Wow.
And I was, of course, you know me, John. 2 beers is like a big time drunk fest for me. And the next day, I couldn't even hardly move a muscle.
Wow.
Yeah, whoa.
So then I saw Elmer the next day after that, and he went like this. Bill says you're okay. So ever since then, and then Bill comes out and takes care of me.
Wow.
Almost as an emergency. I mean, he just puts me ahead of other people, I can tell, you know. But he's a good guy. But he laid all the plumbing. See, what they did, Tom, was out here,
It was good. I mean,
you got a slab base, and what you have to do before